Guys, it's the 50th episode.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes a certain smell will take me back to when I was young. How come I'm never able to identify where it's come from? Alright, man. Live stream started. It's Elijah.
And it's Carson.
Man.
The big 50.
Dude, this is crazy.
Yeah, this is something else. I'll tell you what, it's gonna be a different kind of podcast. It's not gonna be. It's just gonna be the history and how we do things and taking you guys reviews, everything in between. Can't wait.
Man, it's crazy. Guys, guess what? We're not doing a commercial break this episode because
we want to keep it running.
No, literally no one deserves a commercial break whenever you guys are trying hard to watch our episode and we have a commercial break. No, who likes commercial breaks, right, Cars? No one, absolutely no one likes commercial breaks. Not even I do. Actually, I do because it gives me a chance to go downstairs and get water.
Well, we love our sponsors. We love our guys out there. We love the guys that we can sponsor and they help us. And we do love them, but we also love our listeners more.
Yeah. Because without listeners, you can't get sponsors.
We love you guys to be able to get stuff off our advertisers. We love that. That helps not only us, but it helps you guys find what you need. But we love to give you guys as much content as we can, and we know you guys like that too.
Man, that's exactly right. So, Carson, look at Carson nailing it. Okay. Guys, we can go ahead and start this episode. Got some super special stuff. We have actually first I want to do this just for the live stream viewers. Man, I wonder if I can play this for you guys. It is just incredible what Kevin Hutcherson has made. You guys have heard about him quite a few times before. Kevin, if you're watching this, thank you so much. You're the best.
Yeah,
literally everyone, all fans, all however many hundred of you, please go follow him because that's huge to us. Dare I say is he our biggest fan? Maybe. There's few people who comment and repost and like.
Besides all the families, but really, dude, he is such a great guy. He's a big fan of the podcast, which we love. And he does so many things for the podcast, and it's just so enjoyable to see a fan like that. And he's really helping more fans, and not that we need more fans. I'm not saying that. It's just a lot more fans are understanding what we do, and he makes it known too. So we thank you, Kevin.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna play this for you guys. Now, obviously, you can't see it. We're posting it on our Twitter. Just in a tiny bit.
Yeah, everything's leaked right as the thing starts.
Yeah, everything is gonna be.
Everything's gonna be brand new. So stuff that we're talking about has not been released yet.
Of course, guys, we have just a ton of stuff for you guys. We're gonna release that video on Twitter. That little snippet you guys just saw. And you know what? Let's go ahead and dive right into this episode. Hello and welcome. It's Elijah.
And it's Carson.
And we are here. It's the 50th episode. So exciting.
50.
Man, 50. It's
getting old.
Yeah, you know what's kind of funny about this episode? I noticed this whenever I was writing my notes and whatnot. This is the 50th episode, and that's not a lie. But at the same time, it is because in reality, we've recorded almost 60, but they haven't all been official episodes. Some of them have been special and bonus edition. Others have been us on people's shows or different snippets or collabs or just different things. But you know what? This is our 50th official episode, and we are so happy. Thank you guys all for tuning into this episode. If you enjoy this episode, please share it. Like that's the biggest thing you could do for us is just sharing the episode. As simple as just sharing it, or writing a review, just saying, hey, you guys, this podcast is good. Or if you have negative feedback, we would rather you not put it in a review, but definitely email us.
Right,
Email
yeah.
us with that at give'em6podcast@gmail.com. And speaking of emailing and speaking of listeners, we totally have had some listeners ask us some questions today. Before we get started, Carson, you doing good this week?
Oh yeah, been waiting for this episode, but overall, yeah, it's been a great week so far.
Yeah.
We're on starting Monday though. Early week episode. We wanted to put it on a Monday.
Yep, that's for sure. Guys, writing notes on paper is the way to go. And you know what's better than writing it on any paper is using a Give 'em 6 podcast notebook, which you can cop. Which, speaking of,
online.
You know what? You guys should all go right now and cop the merch. You know why? Because it's out right now. That 50th episode merch that you guys
that
wanted.
50th
we released a little sneak peek, and you guys were like, yes, yes, yes. And guess what? It is live on our site right now, guys.
Everybody's been wanting it.
Huge. So, man, I don't even know where to start.
Man, there's so many things to talk about, but that's big in itself.
You know what? I think we start at the beginning. I think that we start from the Copper Cellar in Knoxville. Whenever it all started, and I was joking with Carson about how much he freaking comments after a game because he can't stop making little comments after a game. And
by the way, guys, this is 2.5. You could say 3. I mean, who really cares? Years ago, it was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, this would be, man. Yeah, this would have been a while back, and we went for it, and we said, we were joking just about starting a podcast, and we were like, well, what if we actually did? And so I started looking into it, and I'd been interested in producing music and different things already. I wish, you know what? I'll post a picture on our Twitter because I'm gonna post a couple different things on our Twitter, just a couple pictures that you guys have been wanting, and show you my studio. I actually just rearranged it yesterday, but I didn't actually even live at this house, so it was interesting. I was just researching how to start a podcast. We started out on SoundCloud, grew, and now we go with a company called Buzzsprout. Really love those people. Really, really love Buzzsprout. I mean, yeah. I gotta recommend them even more than like Anchor or some of those bigger ones.
Yeah, and it's a very popular website. So a lot of people, I mean, most everybody we talk to know what it is right off the bat. And we're happy to be able to do that because where we started, like Elijah said, is just so funny because being as young as we are, and it's so hard to believe. People find it so hard to believe that I'm 16 and Elijah's 15, and we're able to do, a podcast. It's just kind of wild for people to hear that. So when we were, I don't know, how old were we?
13 or 14?
I mean, we don't know what we were talking about. We didn't know what we were getting into.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm turning 16 this month.
When we were talking about doing that, it's wild.
Yeah, turning 16 this month, November 23rd. Carson's already 16. He's older than me. He's El mejor. Okay. Guys, I think the next thing is, we talk about our growth just up until this point. I think what really made us grow the most had to be the first time we were on the Tony Basilio show, episode 7. I was, just looking for guests, and I was like, man, what do we do? I'd gotten Scott Rank for our 3rd episode. I didn't even know what I was doing. I loved his podcast so much. I listened to it like every single day or every single night whenever I could. I loved his podcast, History Unplugged. Shout out Scott Rank. And
it's bringing back old memories.
Man, Carson wasn't available that week, and so I was freaked out. I pushed him to talk about a subject he hadn't really talked about a lot, which is football. and man, he was down. He answered my questions so well, and it was crazy too because I didn't know how to interview at all. Speaking of interviews, we're gonna try to get Tony Basilio or T Rob on here soon. But Tony, he grew our show to 1,000 listeners, and then we did the dumbest thing and lost most of you guys. We went off SoundCloud and didn't really tell anyone. We just left. Didn't even really put anything in our bio. Our listenership went down to about 150. It was terrible, and that was just a bad idea on our part, and
Yeah, yeah.
you know it. But
Um,
slowly
I
we've
agree with
inclined,
that idea.
especially I think what made it big. We got on Tony's show, had some more big guests, but it's been a journey, but we're here, right, Cars?
Yeah, and we started on SoundCloud. SoundCloud, everybody knows what SoundCloud is. A lot of not just rap, but when you think of SoundCloud now these days, a lot of teenagers think of rap up and coming artists, and it really has gotten to the point now where SoundCloud is an opening thing for rap artists. And
Yep.
not only that, for musicians starting out, because
Yeah,
well, it helped us start out. I mean, that was the
it did.
lane,
And
concrete
to
lane
be
field,
to be
definitely.
honest, I still, obviously my music is on Spotify and stuff, but I always release my stuff on SoundCloud and have a
Yeah.
good deal of followers. A lot of you guys listen to my music, and I really appreciate that. Did a song in the previous live stream we did. If you guys are looking for something about the game and don't care about the 50th episode, which I don't know why you wouldn't, because it's some great story time right here. But you guys can go listen
It's
to
all
that.
about
We just
all
did
the
that.
history.
But if you guys enjoy this, again, share, like, subscribe, comment. But yeah, SoundCloud is the bomb, man. Shout out SoundCloud. Now,
Yeah, and I think with SoundCloud though, also it, like I said, it was a starting point. But when you
that's
said
all it is.
Tony,
It's a starting point. You can't
and
you can't
we
grow
we
much.
jumped up, we moved on. We had to move on to bigger
But we didn't
areas
let you
because
all know.
there was,
Stinks.
yeah, we just moved on to a lot of stuff where we thought, me and Elijah, we actually looked at each other after the first Tony show and said, "This is actually real. This is actually a thing we're gonna do." Which, at the start, I'm not saying we weren't thinking that we were trying at the start.
Exactly, exactly.
Um, but it's hard to get somewhere, especially being as young as we were. Like, it's really hard for me to find somebody or two kids that were our age, producing a podcast at
Still haven't found anybody.
even if we didn't even have any listeners. Now, when I tell people I have a podcast, a top listing podcast on
Stop charting,
Apple
yeah.
Music, all sorts of websites, they say, "Wait, how old are you again?" And I'm not bragging on ourselves. I am, and I'm not, but I'm just excited and happy that how far we've came at the age. I've never heard of anybody at our age do
Man,
something like this.
I'm grateful to our
No,
listeners. It's
anything
them.
anyway,
Yeah, listeners, you guys have propelled us so far, and our guests, dang,
and
we
it's
have the
all the
best
listeners.
guests and the best
Yes,
listeners, man. You guys are just amazing. I know for a fact that there's less than 10 people who have been had a self-produced podcast on the top charts as young as we were, and almost got the Guinness World Record for that. I think there's someone at least one person who's younger than us, but pretty pretty crazy. Carson, you want to say something else real quick before we
yeah,
go on to the next
yeah.
subject?
Well,
Yeah,
I do want to say, yeah, it's something that not only I will say I would wanted to be, an ESPN, anything, broadcaster since I was young. I've always loved sports. I've played every sport you could think of. And not only that, but I do that. All I do is watch and listen to sports. I mean, that's my bread and butter. And when me and Elijah thought about the podcast and all, I said that's what I want to do. And not only that, but this is probably the biggest thing and the best thing that could probably happen in my future career in life, just to give me a starting point and a resume to build up to say, I've done this. Um, and Elijah is so, and we always tell each other we can't do it without each other. One person is like it's the PB and J. You can't do it without the other one. He, is so good at editing and producing and talking, and I just love the game, love the sports, love the talking, and we just mix together. And I think that's how it work. But we do like to
Yep.
we can't do it without any of you guys with the listeners. But it's been a rocket ship, and we've loved every minute of it.
Man, that's so true. And that brings me to my next thing. We had a listener ask us what drives us. Kevin, I think actually asked that. Shout out Kevin Hutcherson, guys. Follow him. Follow him. Follow him. Follow him. Guys, man, what drives me? I gotta say, I mean, I do it for you, Cars. I enjoy producing it. I do it for
Yeah.
the listeners, and I do it because I want you to get an outlet, and the experience is good too. You know what I'm saying? What about you, Cars? I mean, I know you just shared some, but
Yeah, I mean that's that. I do it for definitely I do it for both of us. Me and Elijah. It's not just about the game. We
exactly.
like this is our hobby. This is something we enjoy. And Elijah's in music too. So
Yeah, for
Elijah
sure.
loves music, and this is something that he loves. A lot. And this goes in both of our fields. If he goes into producing anything, he's going to have this as a background. If I go into try to get a job at ESPN or something like that, this is a big thing in the background. Um, it's something that we both look back on and will say, this is big. But I every day, what drives me is my career in the future, and not only that, just having fun with it. You got to have fun with stuff you do, and
Yeah,
it's
you
not just
do.
what we're doing, but anybody out there. I don't care what you're doing. If you are working at a Food Lion, Food City, Kroger, anywhere up top, policeman, anything you can think of, you got to have fun doing your job because I have fun doing this. This is probably my favorite thing every day, and that shows you. And when you have fun doing stuff like that, nothing can stop you doing what you can
If you
do
find
and
fun
doing
in
what
the
you love
most
to do.
mundane activities in life, your life is going to be a lot more joyful. And you know, another person asked, what are some landmarks in our personal lives, just kind of along the way, our personal accomplishments along the way, kind of leading up to this. And um, I think for me, I mean, some of my biggest ones, obviously, like with podcasts and stuff, is great. Um, I released my first music album a month or two ago, and have over 10,000 streams now worldwide on my music. Had a track go top 10 on Looperman recently. It's got a couple thousand on there, and man, just I'm about to launch a clothing brand here pretty soon, and it's just I'm so grateful just to God for all the opportunities He's given me, man. Cause like
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta be honest, I can't do it without the Lord, man. The Holy Spirit, just I know that we keep this podcast about sports, but still, I can't help but speak of what the Lord's done for me. So that's huge for me, and yeah, I'm grateful because I know I love music so much. I want to go into music, but probably gonna get a degree at MTSU for it. But if I don't, I've got this as my net, man, and it's just so great. What about
It's
you,
something.
Carson? Some of the
Yeah,
things
yeah.
along the way.
You got to give all glory to God,
Yeah,
especially if
man.
you try to keep it as podcast and professional as possible.
Yeah,
But at points like this, you have to.
you have to.
There's nothing. There's nothing. I've been accomplishments in so many areas. All the way up from just in my own youth group, community wise, reaching out to the community, all the way from being involved in basketball, track, making sure involved in this
Man, shout out his
podcast in general.
track though.
That's the star. And trying
Yeah,
to do sports, academics, everything is something that it drives me every day to do because it's something I'm proud of. And then another thing is just I have a gift just of knowing the sports. Like I can watch a Tennessee UAB game and I can remember every drive. It's crazy. Just that's how I got
yeah,
into it. Just realizing like what I had
man.
as a
Glory to
gift,
God though.
and
Yeah,
I couldn't have found that gift without God. And I know Elijah. We both have certain accomplishments, and we both have doing things. But this is really all started, and it all has started with our dreams, and this is all what happened. And it's just a grind. It is, and we love it. We love it.
It's
There's
great.
no, this is not a job to us. And some people have asked me, how much work do you put into it? And I say it's a combination between me and Elijah. We both do as much as we can
The
handle.
passion makes it worth it. The passion makes it
It
worth
really
it.
does, and the listeners drive us to, like we mentioned, Kevin being
One of our
and
biggest
Kevin has been
fans,
so
Hutcherson. Yeah, on Twitter.
supportive. Supportive.
Man,
Selena Summers has been
gosh, Selena.
supportive.
Shout out Selena Summers.
We've been able to have a lot of music personalities come and give us rights to
Man,
their music.
yeah.
Not only
Shout out
that,
like What Up RG, Paloma Rush.
I mean
We
all of
haven't
them.
featured her music in
Like
a little
I
bit,
was
but she was
seeing,
on. She had music for the episode of Keeping Up for the Kardashians where Kim and Kanye got married. You know,
yeah, and what up
huge
RG? I heard
artists,
him literally at a football game yesterday.
dude,
They were playing him for hype songs. I mean, we're
bro.
not only that, but we love to see our guys and
RG,
people
man.
that we use out there make it big time, and that's what we're planning to do. And not only that, but I have to thank my family, especially my family just keeps me driving on this thing because they know I have a bright future, especially with doing this because it's pretty outstanding. It's pretty outstanding.
Man, it really is, guys. I want to change the tone a little bit and just give you something that you have been waiting for, something that for Carson, has been just a terrible surprise. And I don't know, I'm gonna play this on the live stream and whatnot, but on the episode I'll have the actual file. This is special to me. This goes along with some things that I cut out of the episodes because I edit and I really grind editing after the episode, things that you guys don't see. But I just want to give you a little sniff, should I say, about the episode. And Carson, I just want to say, you sniff exactly 3 times every single episode. And for the last 5 episodes, I have noticed, and I have recorded, and I have made a compilation of Carson sniffs.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't think that was good. Oh yeah.
It's funny because there's a lot of things like see when we change the tone here, what we mean like it goes from being so thankful, and now we're gonna get into stuff where we talk about what we do behind the scenes, what happens that you guys don't notice, and what Elijah uh, just showed there is just like some of the humor we have that we notice
Bro,
things about each other
man,
that
there is
happen
some
and you don't
funny
even
things
notice.
that happen that I wish you guys could see, but like, man. Also, one little thing. I want to keep my promise to the live stream listeners. I told them I would wear these, and I did. It's my Tennessee Volunteers earbuds. I usually wear nice in-ear monitors or headphones, but you know what? Switch up the mood and just go some consumer audio stuff. Man, now here's something that I found funny and I like this. Our worst moment on the podcast. I gotta say our very worst moment. I'm not gonna share that because I feel like that wouldn't be appropriate for this podcast. It's something that shouldn't be mentioned. However,
Yeah, that was a
man,
question by a
our
listener.
second one was just insane though. How we were talking before the episode. I forgot about this, but man, when we were live in Knoxville, we tried to do an episode for hours. Couldn't crank out anything. Did a live stream.
We
It flumped. It didn't get any views. It got like no comments and oh gosh, Carson, man.
here's the story, guys. So it was around, yeah, it was in Knoxville. Elijah came. It was Elijah and me in the mobile studio, um And guess what? My favorite episode of all time, we'll get to that later, was a mobile studio setup.
Yeah, man.
This one,
Shout out
however,
Give Him
was
Six
after
Podcast Mobile Studio.
the
Hashtag Mobile
Oklahoma
Studio.
and Alabama game in the playoffs. This was after that game here in January, and we had planned to do an episode all day, but we wanted to watch the Alabama Oklahoma game beforehand to go ahead and do some work with that. We planned to do a live stream, and it ended at about 10:30, and we had the bright idea, which was not a bright idea, uh, um, to try to do an episode at 10:30 at night. So
Man,
a lot
that
of
was
you guys know.
why.
A lot of you guys actually don't know about this because we never posted
And we
anything
never
about it.
told you about it
We
because it was so
no, we
freaking
didn't.
embarrassing.
And
God.
we what sat there. We had everything set up. Everything was perfect. And so we literally sat there, and we were so off key, and we're sitting right next to each other. It was almost like we were not. We were so tired. I don't think we've ever been like that because you guys as listeners know how energetic we are. And at that point, there was nobody on the live stream, obviously because it's 10:30, and we were making one. We were trying to even make one for the edited episode, and we just were like, guys, sorry, we cannot do
So
this.
bad.
We were not. We were so
Man.
off. There was some technical difficulties going on too. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I gotta say though, now we gotta switch that up though, because we gotta tell about our favorite things. And I think one of my favorites, my first favorite memory, the first time where I could say, man, this was a great time. And it wasn't even that good of an episode because we didn't really know a bunch about it, but you know, we were still working on it, still kind of grinding on it. And the first time we did a bowl game episode, those have always been fun.
That's my
We
favorite.
usually do them together, and
Mhm.
we're doing it in our mobile setup, the John Ward Studio mobile. This is the John Ward Studio. It's big, and like I said, I'll be posting a couple pictures and some things that you guys can just see, some things that you guys have requested. But that was one of my favorites, man. Tony Basilio. Every time it's great. The first time was just surreal. The second time surreal, man. It's always surreal. It's a great experience with him. Guests. So many great memories. Carson, what would you say some of your favorite memories were?
Well, my top favorite memory, and it cannot be beat, is Tony Basilio's. Being able to go to his home, meet him, meet Tony Robinson, meet Alex Myers, because I will tell you something right now. I met three guys that I know I could have that if I could text them right now, they would respond and help me at any time because they're so into the podcast. Not only that, but they know that we have a bright future, and they want to help
Yep.
us succeed at anything. So, just that is my favorite by far because um, without Tony, some of the stuff we have done now, some of the confidence and some of the listeners we have, maybe may not have came, maybe they have, but we
I
thank
mean,
Tony every
Alex
day.
from Alex was from the Tony Basilio show. Tony
Yeah,
Robinson. I mean, we've yet to get Bino, but he follows us and all this stuff. And man, so many great people. Pete Weber, some insane stuff happened on that show. Shout out Tony
yeah.
Basilio. Follow him, y'all.
But my favorite podcast on our own podcast, um, like Elijah said, this bowl game show, it was probably our eighth episode. Maybe I don't know for a fact. It was an early one, top 10, or it was in the first 10 episodes. And we sat down at a small table at our grandparents, and it was the
That's
mobile
where we do our
studio,
mobile
and
episodes, by
all
the
we
way,
talked
guys.
about every bowl game. And the funny thing was, we went all the way from the national championship in the playoffs to the New Mexico Bowl, and every single thing of that episode, it was long. It was so much fun,
It wasn't even
and
that.
I think
It wasn't even that good. It was just amazing. Oh,
it
it
was
was
just it
episode
wasn't even
5.
that good of an episode.
Dang, wow.
And it was episode
But it was
5, and it wasn't
so
even that good of
fun.
an episode.
I had
It
so
was
much
just
fun.
it was just fun. It
I
was
didn't
like
even.
there was
I
nobody
hardly
else in
knew
the
how
room.
to edit. I hardly knew how to record. I mean, now it's a lot better. I love my studio. I'm passionate about it, man. But then that's a good memory, isn't it, Cars, man?
It really
I
is.
now this one we have just someone who asks where do we live because they always see me on the live streams and never Carson. Actually, you can see Carson on the last live stream we did, which is a rarity. We don't usually show him, but Carson, you
Yeah,
live
that's
in
the
Maryville.
UAB post game.
I live in a very small town below Nashville. Most of you wouldn't know Thompson Station, so the greater Nashville area. Lived in Franklin for quite a while, but you know, that's where the John Ward studio is. I'm in the John Ward studio. This is the John Ward studio. Not to be mistaken with, I guess some people think that this is John Ward's studio. No, this is our studio that we've named after John Ward as we have the podcast.
Yeah.
So that's special. And that's where we live. Man, some things we dislike and think that we could improve about this show. I gotta say, I hate it when I say Um, it just I don't like it, and I want to get better at it, and it's always going to be something. But I think for me that's the thing where I'm like I want to improve that, just better myself in that area. How about you, Cars?
Well, I'm from Maryville, Tennessee. It's right outside Knoxville. So I'm here in Vols country. I know Elijah would love to be in Vols country, but
I
he is
would.
loving it where he is there.
Man, I love Nashville.
Um,
Got some great people over here.
yeah. But yeah, it's fun over here. I mean, there is not one moment, there is not one day or moment you go by and you don't see a Tennessee Vols fan. It's a feeling here. A lot of people ask me how do we do this podcast thing. We do one every week. We try every week at least. And
Yes.
we I go off my kind of setup over here, and I call Elijah, and we go and we talk from there. And Elijah produces it, and it works like we're just in the same studio.
Yep.
Um, some things I do, and I struggle with this constantly, is the and I've probably
Man.
done it a lot this episode. I really have,
Same.
and it's a habit, and it's something I have to stop. So it's gonna be something that we both need to work on. Um, but it's nothing I don't dislike about the podcast. It's something I need to work on
Right.
in general.
This is another thing, and I would definitely have Carson answer this one, but I think this is something that Carson can't answer as much as he can, but I think it'd be better coming from me. How is the show produced? Okay, let me explain. So, beside me, I have a 12-channel mixer. It's almost completely, no, it's digital, but a lot of the circuitry in it is analog because I like that. It's got some nicey 3-band EQ. Got a bus, no, 2 buses, and the mains. I send the bus 1 to my recording software. I use Logic Pro 10. Love it. Use it for my music as well. Just record that. I edit by just chopping things and have things. I also have a Behringer Euphoria UM2. I would get a Focusrite if I could afford one, or Apollo Twin Duo, but I route that into the mixer, and my mic is USB. It's a Blue Snowball, and or maybe Blue Snowball Ice, I forget. But that goes in, and I just chop stuff up and make it happen, and then I export it and put it into Buzzsprout, and do a little bit of promotion and whatnot. And there's that's how I produce the episode. Got mine so I can listen to both of us. Carson's got his stuff over in Knoxville. We do it by FaceTime usually, and in different ways
Yeah.
every now and then, but FaceTime is our main way. So there's that. Wanted to be brief about that because I know some people get bored very quickly with that, and I'm sorry if I've bored you to death. Also, Carson, what just launched before this episode began? Like right before the episode began.
Well, the 50th episode merch.
Oh man, I almost forgot about that. Man, that merch, it's
That is
beautiful.
such a big surprise.
Who?
And I know probably people that just tuned in. Oh, that's a definite. You guys have to get
Man.
that before it goes away.
Yeah, that's huge. I'm gonna take that away by December. Guys, it's going away in December. It pains me to see you
It's
say,
gonna
man,
be
I want one,
anniversary.
but
It's gonna
it's
be rough.
closed. I'm sorry, we can't give any more away after December. It's not actually a giveaway. The shirts are, $16 or $17, and will go up in price as the month goes on. So get yours now. I'm
And
gonna cop mine. Carson's probably gonna cop his. Whatever. And I'm starting a clothing brand after that. So in December you can look for some of that stuff for cool clothing. But right now you have nowhere to look. You must
yeah,
go buy our merch.
you guys missed out too. There was some people that were able to test out the
Man,
50th
we had
merch
product testers. We had people coming and
yes.
pre-ordering for a cheaper price just to send us pictures. And y'all missed out, man. That's
Yep.
not the first time that's gonna happen. Y'all gotta get in there on it. Man, I love that merch. So, Carson, I'm gonna let you answer this next question. Go ahead.
Well, the next question is, what is our favorite food? My favorite food, is pasta in general.
Dude,
I love
pasta though. Shout out
pasta.
pasta.
A specific kind of pasta is like seafood pasta. Now, I'm a big fan of seafood pasta. I am not picky at all. I will probably eat anything.
Dude,
Anything.
you
I
eat
mean, anything.
anything.
I
It's
love
insane. You're not
vegetables,
picky.
fruits, candies, anything.
I'm picky. Or particular. I like to use the word particular because it makes me sound better and more sophisticated. So, man, my favorite, dude, I love pastas. I gotta say, any of the stuff at Chapman's, really. Shout out Chapman's in Knoxville. That's my favorite place to go.
Chapman's
I'm gonna
is
go there
good.
for my birthday, man. Carson, when we get together, we gotta go to Chapman's, bro.
We will, and that is something, Elijah. We need to make that announcement soon. Um, this coming Thanksgiving, that Thanksgiving on Thursday and Friday.
It'll be our
So
bowl game
after
episode, right?
Thanksgiving. Now I will tell you something. You guys have been wanting a live studio thing.
Man,
a live studio.
I come to him because I go to my grandparents' house. He doesn't come here a lot. Man, over the summer, what if we had cars here in the GH6P John Ward studio, man? Wouldn't that be awesome? It's gonna be awesome.
But the next best thing, it's coming soon. So
the mobile
guys,
studio
that will be
setup.
something to look forward to. We will have a mobile setup. Me and him will be together. That is when we do those. Those are big time.
Man, it's fun. It's so fun. The other question we had was other interests, but I feel like we've covered that a lot. So I'm not gonna say much about that. I don't think. Man, I think that's all we have for this episode. That's pretty much it, man. Guys, thank you, listeners, so much. You have brought us so far, and I mean, man, I was just thinking all day about this, and I love it. I love the show. This is such a big milestone for both of us, guys. If you enjoy it, you'll show us by sharing, commenting, liking, reviewing, whatever one of those you want to do, buying merch. And, if you want to send in a question or whatever, DM us or add us or, give6podcast@gmail.com for feedback. Man, just insane. Shout out Kevin Hutcherson. His promo video that he did for us will be dropping on Twitter. So big. Carson, final words and closing thoughts for you on this big episode.
This is probably, this might be the biggest viewed, biggest liked. Hopefully, you guys go like it, share it, everything. Go like on Instagram, Twitter. But really, it's emotional for both of us just because of how far we've come in 2.5 years from being 13 years old and talking to each other about doing some podcast that maybe had 2 views all the way up to I can't even, and it's a lot of viewers, like an abnormal amount of viewers for 16-year-olds, and we're so happy. I mean, we're so happy and thankful and blessed to be able to say that we have a top charting producing podcast. But it could never happen without you guys.
That's so true. That is so huge. Thank you guys so much. Man, there is a huge storm coming. There's a hurricane coming, and it's full.
It's full of orange. It's on its way.
Man, guys.
It hasn't reached, but it's on its way. It's
and
been on its way for a while.
For the 50th time, the Give 'em 6 podcast is always
scoring touchdowns.
Man, I'm gonna play this. Live stream viewers, thank you so much for viewing, guys. That's huge. Big episode here. And man, you guys are the people. The people who go with the raw stuff whenever we choose to release an episode. Man, y'all the peeps. Keep watching. You guys are great. Sometimes a certain smell will take me back to when I was young. How come I'm never able to identify where it's coming from? I'd make a candle out of it if I ever found it. Try to sell it, never sell out of it. I probably only sell one. Give it to my brother, cause we have the same nose, same clothes.